Hello coin enthusiasts and welcome back to NT Coins World, your one-stop destination for all things coins. Today we have two incredible and valuable coins to discuss. If you're a collector or just someone interested in the world of numismatics, these two Lincoln cents might just pique your interest. We'll be covering the 1969 D Lincoln cent and the 1983 D Lincoln cent, both in fine condition. These coins might not look like much at first glance, but believe me, they hold some fascinating secrets. So grab your magnifying glass, sit back, and let's dive into the world of valuable Lincoln cents. Let's kick things off with a coin that many collectors have their eyes on, the 1969 D Lincoln cent, especially in fine condition. At first glance, this coin might seem like any other regular cent, but there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. The 1969 D Lincoln cent was part of a series that has a significant place in American numismatics. As we look closer at its mintage and history, we can appreciate just how much this coin has to offer. The minting of the 1969 D cent took place at the Denver Mint, where over 2.7 billion of these pennies were produced. This high mintage means that most of these coins were mass-produced and are quite common in circulation today. But the true value of the 1969 D Lincoln cent doesn't lie in its sheer quantity. The story of its potential value revolves around error varieties and varietals. The most famous error associated with this coin is the 1969 D double die obverse. This error occurred when the coin's dies were misaligned during the production process, causing a distinct doubling effect on the lettering and date. This phenomenon can be seen most clearly on the Liberty and In God We Trust inscriptions, where the doubling gives the letters a blurry, almost ghostly effect. Coins with this error are among the most sought-after varieties in the entire Lincoln cent series. Now, while most 1969 D cents you come across will not have this error, it's worth mentioning that a fine condition coin like the one we're discussing still holds value due to its historical significance. In fine condition, this coin might not be in pristine shape, but its value can still be considerable, particularly because collectors often look for coins with good preservation despite wear. In terms of market value, a 1969 D Lincoln cent in fine condition without any errors may fetch somewhere between $1 to $2, though it's worth noting that the price can vary depending on demand and the specific condition of the coin. If you happen to find a 1969 D double die obverse cent, though, its value skyrockets. These error coins can easily sell for $50,000 to $70,000, and in some cases even higher, especially if the coin is in higher grades. So, while most of the 1969 D coins you'll find might not be worth a fortune, there's still the potential for a significant find, especially if you're checking for those rare error varieties. Now let's shift gears and talk about the 1983 D Lincoln cent, which, like the 1969 D, might not initially seem all that special, but there's a compelling story behind it. This particular coin is especially interesting because of its place in the history of the US Mint and the transition of the penny's composition. In 1982, the US Mint made the controversial decision to change the composition of the Lincoln cent. Prior to 1982, pennies were primarily made of 95% copper, but due to rising copper prices, the mint switched to a 97.5% zinc composition with a copper-plated exterior. The 1983 D cent is an example of this new zinc-based composition. Mintage for the 1983 D Lincoln cent was just under 5.5 billion coins, which makes it another high mintage cent that is widely available today. Like the 1969 D, the 1983 D is not a rare coin in terms of its production numbers. However, its value is shaped by some intriguing errors and varieties that add an element of surprise to its story. One of the most notable error types associated with the 1983 D is the 1983 D double die obverse. Similar to the error on the 1969 D, this type of doubling occurs on the obverse of the coin, particularly on the Liberty and In God We Trust inscriptions. The error is caused by a misalignment of the dies during the minting process, and it can be a bit tricky to spot unless you're specifically looking for it. The doubling effect in the 1983 D is typically not as bold as in the 1969 D, But when you find one of these error coins, it can be an exciting discovery. However, unlike the 1969 D double die, the 1983 D error coins are less common, so finding one could prove to be quite rewarding. In fine condition, a typical 1983 D Lincoln cent might be worth just a few cents to a couple of dollars depending on its wear and demand. But if you manage to track down an 1883 D double die obverse in fine condition or better, the value can range from $5,000 to $10,000. What makes the 1883 D especially unique in the Lincoln cent series is how it marks a significant transition in both design and material composition. For collectors and history buffs, this coin holds a special place as it's one of the first cents to be minted in the new zinc-copper blend, making it a key piece in the evolution of the US penny. And there you have it, two seemingly humble coins with hidden value and fascinating stories behind them. The 1969 D Lincoln cent and the 1983 D Lincoln cent might seem like ordinary pennies, but as we've seen, they each have a unique place in history. Whether it's the famous double die obverse on the 1969 D or the new composition introduced with the 1983 D, both coins provide an exciting glimpse into the history of American coinage. While these coins might not break the bank in their standard form, the potential for error varieties to turn an ordinary cent into a high-value find is what keeps collectors on the lookout. If you've got one of these coins in your collection, it might be worth giving it a second glance. You never know what you might find. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of NT Coins World. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, leave a comment below if you've ever come across a valuable Lincoln cent or any other rare coins. Until next time, keep collecting and happy hunting.